Listen, applause, very carefully, because what I am about to release into your spirit is not ordinary motivation, and it is not casual encouragement. This is a divine interruption. This is a moment where God pulls you out of the noise of the world and speaks directly into the deepest part of your being. God told me to warn you, yes, warn you that someone wealthy, someone unusual, someone whose presence alone carries influence and spiritual weight is about to choose you. Not because you asked, not because you pushed, not because you pleaded, but because God has decided that your season of hiddenness has come to an end. God is moving you. God is lifting you. God is transitioning you. God is shifting you into a place where what was once impossible will now become necessary. There are moments in life when God does not wait for your permission. God simply moves. God simply selects. God simply rearranges circumstances until you are standing in a position you know you could never have reached by your own strength. And right now, as you hear these words, something within you is being awakened. Something within you is being stirred because your spirit recognizes that this is not human encouragement. It is divine warning. God is preparing to connect you with someone who carries unusual resources, unusual access, unusual wisdom, unusual opportunities. And God wants you to be spiritually awake so you don't sabotage what is coming. You have been walking through a season where everything felt uncertain. The path felt narrow. The delays made you question your value. The rejections made you wonder if God had forgotten you. But God says, I was not punishing you. I was preparing you. There are some doors God will never let you walk through until your character is ready, your vision is purified, and your spirit is disciplined. You thought you were waiting on God, but God says, I was shaping you for a divine appointment that will not look like anything you imagine. God has whispered into your destiny something so powerful that your life cannot remain where it is. You are about to be chosen not casually, not accidentally, intentionally, spiritually, strategically. This person, this wealthy, strange, spiritually alert person is being prompted by God to notice you, to recognize you, to be drawn to you for reasons they cannot articulate. God has placed your name in their spirit, your presence in their intuition, your value in their vision. They will see you and feel that you are marked. They will hear you and feel that you carry something uncommon. They will sense a spiritual alignment they cannot explain because God is the one directing the connection. And let me tell you something important. When God chooses to elevate you, He does not consult your past. He does not review your mistakes. He does not consider the opinions of those who underestimated you. When God decides it is your time to rise, everything in your life begins to shift. People who ignored you suddenly become aware of you. Opportunities that bypassed you start circling back toward you. Environments that once rejected you begin to make room for you. This is what happens when God says, move. Your movement is not physical, it is spiritual. God is moving your name into the right conversations. God is moving your presence into the right environments. God is moving your steps toward the right destiny alignment, and God is moving someone toward you. Someone with influence and resources, but also someone with spiritual sensitivity. Someone whose wealth is not only financial, but strategic. Someone who carries doors inside their hands. Someone who has been prepared for years just to meet you at this exact moment. You may feel unqualified, you may feel unprepared, but God says, I have already qualified you. I have already prepared you. I have already shaped you. Everything you have been through, the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the losses, the disappointments was not random. It was divine development. God was shaping your humility so you would not crumble under honor. God was sharpening your discernment so you would recognize the difference between divine connection and distraction. God was strengthening your identity so the wealth of another person would not intimidate you. The person who is coming toward you is not coming to control you. They are coming to confirm you. You see, God is not sending someone to rescue you. God is sending someone to recognize you. There is a difference. You do not need rescuing. You need confirming. You need someone who sees what God placed inside you. Someone who sees your potential even when you feel unseen. Someone who feels a divine weight on your destiny even when you have been doubting yourself. Someone whose presence elevates you, not drains you. Someone who understands the assignment God placed on your life. This person may look strange to you at first. They may have a background unlike anything you've seen. They may carry behaviors or attitudes that feel unfamiliar. But God says, do not judge the vessel. Discern the assignment. Wealthy people do not always look the way you expect. Spiritually awakened people do not always carry the style you anticipate. God often sends blessings disguised in unusual forms. And only those who are spiritually awake can recognize divine appointments when they arrive wearing unfamiliar clothing. Now listen closely. You are not being chosen because you are perfect. You are being chosen because you are aligned. Your heart is aligned with God. Your spirit is aligned with truth. Your destiny is aligned with purpose. Your future is aligned with divine timing. You are being chosen because you survived what was designed to break you. You are being chosen because you kept your spirit intact. You are being chosen because you did not let bitterness destroy you. You are being chosen because even in silence, even in obscurity, even in your lowest moments, you still whispered, God, I trust you. And God heard that whisper. God saw that loyalty. God measured that commitment. That is why someone is being pulled towards you, not by human attraction, but by divine assignment. This connection is not emotional, it is purposeful. This encounter is not random, it is orchestrated. This alignment is not coincidence, it is destiny in motion. You are moving spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Your life cannot stay where it has been. The environment that once fit you is now too small. The relationships that once sustained you are no longer aligned. The routines that once made sense no longer work. That discomfort you feel, that inner stirring, that restlessness, that quiet sense that something is shifting, it is God uprooting you from where you were and repositioning you for where you must go. You may not fully understand it, but your spirit knows this truth. You are being positioned for elevation, and as God moves you, understand this. Not everyone can go with you. Not everyone is meant to witness the next version of your destiny. Not everyone will understand the calling that is unfolding over your life. God is separating you from environments that drained your spirit. God is removing you from people who are too familiar with your potential to respect it. God is breaking you away from cycles that kept you stagnated. When God elevates you, isolation often comes before manifestation. You may feel like you are losing people, losing comfort, losing stability. But God says you are not losing, you are transitioning. This is why God told me to warn you, because when this wealthy, unusual, spiritually attuned person enters your life, people around you will begin to whisper. They will question your worth. They will doubt your readiness. They will assume you're unqualified. But God says, let them talk. The ones who never celebrated you when you were invisible do not qualify to speak when God makes you visible. The ones who were silent during your suffering cannot be trusted to interpret your elevation. They do not understand your process, so they cannot comprehend your promotion. Do not try to explain yourself. Do not try to justify God's decision. The moment you begin apologizing for blessings is the moment you begin shrinking your spirit to fit into environments God is trying to pull you out of. You were not created to live in smallness. You were not designed to remain overlooked. You were not built to stay in the shadows. There is a calling on your life that demands exposure. There is a purpose inside you that requires support. There is a destiny ahead of you that needs spiritual alignment, and this wealthy, strange person who is coming toward you, this person God is sending will not come to belittle you. They will not come to judge you. They will not come to control you. They will see you, truly see you. Your spirit will speak to their spirit. Your purpose will speak to their purpose. Your inner stability will match their outer strength. They have been prepared by God to uplift you, not suppress you. They have been shaped to guide you into new spaces, not drag you back into old ones. They have been softened in the wilderness of their own trials, so they can handle the weight of your calling with reverence. You must prepare your spirit. You must prepare your mindset. God does not want you walking into this next season with the insecurity of your past season. God does not want you carrying self-doubt into rooms designed for confidence. God does not want you shrinking your voice when He is preparing to amplify your influence. The person God is bringing into your life is not intimidated by your calling. They are attracted to it. They sense the divine marking on your life. They understand the supernatural weight you carry. They recognize the quiet authority God placed in your spirit. Do not fear the magnitude of this connection. God would not send someone this prepared if you were not ready. God would not align you with someone this influential if your time had not come. This is your moment of divine intersection. Two paths that have been shaped separately are now being guided to cross. Two journeys that were once unfamiliar are now being rearranged to connect. God does not orchestrate such things casually. This is destiny unfolding. You must understand something deep. Wealthy does not only mean money. Wealthy means abundant in influence, abundant in wisdom, abundant in discipline, abundant in spiritual capacity, abundant in leadership. The wealth God is sending toward you is multidimensional. This person carries something you do not have, and God will use that to build you. But you also carry something they lack, and God will use you to sharpen them. This connection will be mutual, balanced, spiritually aligned, purpose-driven. This is why it will feel strange, because you have never encountered someone who mirrors your calling on such a deep level. You have never had someone recognize your value this quickly. You have never had someone sense your destiny so clearly. You may feel unprepared, but God says this is your harvest. You planted in tears, you watered in silence, you stood in storms. Now you will build in blessing. And you are moving even now as you listen. Your spirit is rising, your mind is stretching, your heart is awakening. The old version of you is shedding like worn-out skin. The new version of you is emerging with clarity, confidence, and spiritual authority. Your steps are being ordered by God. Your environment is being rearranged. Your opportunities are being multiplied. Nothing in your life is staying where it was. Every part of you is shifting into divine alignment. Do not resist it. Do not fight the unfamiliar. Do not cling to the comfort of the past. The past is not your home. It was your classroom. God used it to teach you discipline, humility, resilience, and spiritual discernment. But now the class is over. A new chapter is beginning. A new environment is calling your name. A new season is opening before you. God is not asking you to move. God is moving you. You feel it. You've been feeling it for weeks. The spiritual pressure, the subtle tension, the sense that something is coming. That is not anxiety. It is alignment. That is not confusion. It is confirmation. That inner stirring is the sound of destiny knocking on the door of your spirit. It is God whispering, prepare. You are about to be seen. This person God is sending, this wealthy, unusual, divinely sent individual, will carry answers to prayers you were afraid to speak aloud. You prayed for help quietly. You cried for clarity privately. You hoped for support silently. And God says, I heard every whisper. Some blessings are too heavy to deliver casually. Some answers require divine timing. Some breakthroughs demand spiritual preparation. You are not just stepping into a new season. You are stepping into a new dimension. A realm of honor, a realm of influence, a realm of acceleration. And that is why this person is coming. They are part of the transportation system God is using to move you forward. Your story is about to accelerate. Your influence is about to expand. Your surroundings are about to shift. God is about to pull you out of obscurity and place you in environments where your voice will matter, where your presence will be valued, where your destiny will be nurtured. When God begins to move you, the shift is never gentle. It is firm, deliberate, undeniable. God does not whisper transition. God announces it in your spirit long before it materializes in your surroundings. You feel the shift before you see the shift. And that is what has been happening within you lately. Your spirit has been signaling a change your mind has not yet understood. That is why nothing feels comfortable anymore. That is why old routines feel empty. That is why conversations that once satisfied you now feel hollow. God is emptying out your environment to make room for what is coming. And what is coming is not ordinary. What is coming is marked by God. What is coming carries divine weight. You are about to encounter someone whose presence shakes your assumptions, whose stability calms your fears, whose clarity sharpens your vision. This person has traveled through storms you know nothing about. God has seasoned them with wisdom, refined them through pressure, and positioned them to assist you through a transition you cannot navigate alone. They carry keys. Keys to doors you could not open by yourself. Keys to access, keys to direction, keys to divine strategy. Do not misunderstand this. God is not sending someone to dominate your destiny. God is sending someone to align with it. You are not being overshadowed. You are being supported. You are not being replaced. You are being reinforced. You are not being diminished. You are being expanded. This connection is a sign that your spiritual stature has grown. God does not connect elevation with immaturity. God only aligns the prepared with the powerful. You have been prepared through confusion. You have been prepared through silence. You have been prepared through unexpected disappointments that ripped away the people and places you once depended on. Those losses were not punishments. They were protections. God removed what could not sustain your future. God broke cycles that would have sabotaged your assignment. God shut doors that were too small for your destiny. But now, because you endured, because you kept your spirit anchored, God is sending a new kind of connection, one filled with honor, stability, and divine timing. This wealthy, unusual individual who is being drawn toward you carries something essential for your next season. They come with resources God entrusted to them, not for their comfort, but for your connection. They carry spiritual sensitivity because God sharpened them for encounters that require discernment. They carry influence because God elevated them to be a bridge for those God chooses. And do not miss this. You are being chosen because God trusts you. God trusts your integrity. God trusts your restraint. God trusts your humility. God trusts your discipline. God trusts that you will not bow to opportunity, but rise with purpose. Many people desire elevation, but their heart cannot handle it. Their character collapses under pressure. Their spirit bends under attention. Their identity becomes polluted by influence. But God has watched you withstand storms that hardened others. God has watched you grow while others shrank. God has watched you surrender when others resisted. This connection, this divine alignment is not about romance, not about dependency, not about validation. It is about destiny. It is about the unfolding of a chapter that requires collaboration. Even the strongest assignments need the right environment to flourish. Even the most gifted individuals need the proper support to expand. God is not sending you someone to complete you. God is sending you someone to help carry the weight of what God has placed on your life. Many people want to be chosen, but they do not want the responsibility of being chosen. They want the blessing, but not the burden. They want the applause, but not the refinement. You, however, have submitted yourself to the process. You let God strip away your pride. You let God soften your spirit. You let God remove your distractions. You let God break you until you were usable. That is why God is moving you now. You have passed the test of time, the test of betrayal, the test of waiting, the test of isolation, and now God will place you where you belong. But hear this warning: when the door opens, step through. Do not hesitate. Do not disqualify yourself. Do not shrink into fear. When God gives you access, walk boldly. When God positions you among the influential, do not apologize for being there. God does not promote by accident. God promotes by intention. Your arrival in new environments is not a coincidence. It is a decree, a divine declaration that your season of smallness has expired. This wealthy and unusual person who will choose you, they are drawn by something deeper than appearance, deeper than personality, deeper than talent. They are drawn by the spiritual mark God placed on you before you were born. They are drawn by the weight of your assignment, purity of your spirit, the calling embedded in your purpose. They do not see what you have. They see who you are. They see what you carry. They see the divine fingerprints on your life, and they will choose you suddenly, unexpectedly, without warning. Not because you pursued them, but because God positioned you. Not because you impressed them, but because God revealed you. Destiny connections do not require performance. They require alignment. And you are aligned. You may ask, why someone wealthy? Why someone unusual? Why someone whose spirit feels unfamiliar? Because your next season requires an environment your past could not provide. God is not elevating you into comfort. God is elevating you into purpose. Wealth does not make them better. It makes them equipped. Strange does not make them dangerous. It makes them spiritually distinctive. You need someone who lives above the noise of common thinking. Someone who can see beyond surface level appearances. Someone who recognizes the spiritual long before they assess the physical. And this movement of God in your life, this shift is unstoppable. You can feel it. It is rising inside you like a quiet fire. It is surrounding you like a divine wind. Your life is being prepared for a stage you did not ask for, but were built for. God is sharpening your intuition. God is enlarging your capacity. God is amplifying your influence. And every invisible preparation is about to become visible manifestation. There will come a moment soon when you will look back at this season of discomfort and realize it was the doorway to everything God promised. You will see that the loneliness was a pruning, the silence was a recalibration, the rejection was a redirection, the hiddenness was protection. God hid you because not everyone deserved access to the version of you He was shaping. When God prepares to move you, He does not simply change your surroundings. He changes your spiritual posture. He lifts your perception. He sharpens your discernment. He awakens a new level of awareness inside you. You begin to see what you once ignored, sense what you once overlooked, and feel what you once dismissed. This shift is not emotional. It is spiritual. God is tuning your inner frequency to recognize divine signals that others miss. God is training your spirit to interpret signs, timing, and direction with clarity. This is why your patience is evolving. Situations that used to frustrate you now feel insignificant. Conflicts that once consumed your emotions now fail to disturb your peace. God is stripping away reactive tendencies so you can walk into your next season with authority, not insecurity. You are not being shaped to survive. You are being shaped to lead. God needs your spirit stable, your mind strong, your emotions disciplined, because what He is about to release into your life cannot be carried by a fractured version of you. And this person who is coming, this wealthy, unusual, spiritually alert individual will immediately sense that stability in you. God has prepared them to recognize spiritual maturity, to value integrity, to feel the authenticity of someone who has walked through the fire and emerged purified, not bitter. They are not interested in superficial connections. They are not drawn to empty words or shallow intentions. They are drawn to depth. The depth God placed in you through years of molding, breaking, rebuilding, and elevating. Your depth is your magnet. Your inner growth is the signal. Your spiritual resilience is the beacon that draws this person toward you. There is something in you that God Himself formed, a spiritual identity that cannot be duplicated or diluted. And those who are aligned to your destiny will recognize it instantly. They will feel a divine familiarity with you, as though God whispered your name into their spirit long before they ever encountered your presence. This is why God told me to warn you. Your spirit must remain sensitive. When God begins aligning divine connections, the enemy tries to send counterfeits, distractions wrapped in flattery, opportunities wrapped in deception, people wrapped in charm, but lacking depth. You must discern the difference between the one God sends and the one's life throws at you. The person God is bringing into your life will not confuse you. They will clarify you. They will not drain you. They will elevate you. They will not push you into chaos. They will pull you into purpose. Confusion is not from God. Pressure without peace is not from God. Manipulation dressed as attention is not from God. When God has sent someone, they come with clarity. They come with calmness. They come with direction. They come with spiritual congruence that aligns with your inner truth. Their presence will feel like a gate opening, not a trap closing. It will feel like destiny unfolding, not danger approaching. And as God moves you forward, you must understand something profound. Movement does not always look like motion. Sometimes God moves your spirit before He moves your circumstances. You might still be standing in the same environment, but your heart no longer belongs there. Your mind no longer connects there. Your spirit no longer breathes there. That is how you know God has shifted you. The old atmosphere no longer fits your new identity. You feel the transition because your spirit has already stepped into the future. Your physical life is simply catching up, and the connection God is preparing for you is a part of that future. This person will not take you back to where you came from. They will show you where you are going. They will not let you shrink into old wounds. They will help you rise into healed purpose. They will not let you cling to outdated fears. They will reinforce the courage God placed within you. This is why God is also removing unnecessary noise from your life. You have noticed it, the distancing, the silence, the fading of connections that once felt permanent. Do not mourn what God is pruning when God removes people. It is not rejection, it is refinement. It is God clearing the path so the right person can enter without interference. You cannot carry everyone into your next season if God did not assign them to it. Your calling is too weighty, your purpose too significant, your next level too precise. God is making room, and the person being sent towards you requires space, spiritual space, emotional space, mental space. Their presence will occupy a place in your destiny that no one else can fill. God is not bringing them into a crowded environment. God is bringing them into a prepared one. And let me tell you this, with unwavering conviction, you will recognize them, not by appearance alone, not by wealth alone, but by the divine signal God will ignite inside you. Something in your spirit will say, this is aligned. Something in your heart will whisper, this is ordained. Something in your intuition will confirm, this is God. You will feel a peace that goes beyond understanding. A peace that announces the presence of divine timing. This connection is not coming to distract you from your path. It is coming to accelerate your path. They are not arriving to change your identity. They are arriving to support your destiny. God has equipped them with what you need. And He has equipped you with what they need. This is not a one-sided blessing. It is a two-sided assignment. Both of you have gone through seasons of separation, so you could meet each other at the same spiritual altitude. And when you meet, your spirit will expand. Your mind will sharpen. Your vision will ignite. You will begin to dream differently, think differently, plan differently, because God will use this connection to unlock parts of your destiny you have not yet accessed. They will speak into your potential with clarity, not confusion. They will recognize the greatness in you even on days when you cannot see it yourself. They will not fear your growth. They will fuel it as God moves you forward. Prepare yourself to walk into rooms that once intimidated you. Prepare yourself to speak with confidence in spaces you once avoided. Prepare yourself to embrace opportunities you once doubted you were worthy of. God is stretching you because He is about to position you. God is strengthening you because He is about to elevate you. God is awakening you because He is about to reveal you. You have carried humility long enough. You have carried hiddenness long enough. You have carried silence long enough. God is about to bring you into visibility, not for vanity, but for purpose, not for applause, but for assignment, not for fame, but for influence that aligns with His will. The person God is sending into your life will be a catalyst, a divine instrument of transition. They will not play God. They will point you toward God. They will not replace your purpose. They will expand it. They will not overshadow your calling. They will honor it. You are being guided into a higher chapter, a more refined season, a more spiritually awakened state of existence. And God is already going ahead of you, preparing the path, preparing the opportunity, preparing the connection, preparing your spirit. You must understand this. God's movement in your life does not wait for your approval, your understanding, or your confidence. God moves first in the unseen, and your circumstances will catch up later. The wealthy, unusual person God is sending toward you will be drawn not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. They will feel a spiritual magnet toward you, a calling that cannot be explained by human reasoning. Their heart will recognize as what your spirit has carried quietly for years. The discipline, the perseverance, the integrity, the obedience that God cultivated when no one was watching. God has been shaping you in silence for this very moment. Every struggle you endured, every setback you survived, every disappointment you bore alone. These were not empty moments. They were God's refining fires. They were God's tools for crafting a vessel capable of withstanding both blessing and responsibility. If you had been promoted too soon, you would have faltered. If you had been exposed too early, the weight of opportunity would have crushed you. But God's timing is perfect, and the person who is coming into your life has been placed there in perfect divine timing as well. Do not underestimate the spiritual importance of this alignment. God does not connect people casually. God connects purpose. You will not meet this person to satisfy curiosity, desire, or ego. You will meet them because God has planned it as a spiritual appointment. A meeting where destiny will recognize destiny. They will see what you have sacrificed. They will sense what you have endured. They will recognize the silent victories no one else applauded. And God will move in both of your spirits to confirm that this union is necessary, productive, and divinely intentional. And as God aligns this connection, He will also align your heart. You will be given discernment to know when to step forward and when to wait. You will be given clarity to recognize the difference between opportunity and distraction, between alignment and deception, between what is sent by God and what is influenced by human ego. Your spirit will become a compass calibrated by divine insight. You will no longer chase what is merely convenient. You will no longer accept what is mediocre. You will no longer compromise your calling for temporary comfort. God is sharpening your wisdom so that when the right person arrives, you will recognize them immediately. God also wants you to understand the sacred responsibility of this encounter. This is not a meeting of coincidence. This is a meeting of stewardship. The person God is sending will come with resources, influence, and access that can accelerate your assignment. But these gifts are not yours to consume selfishly. They are entrusted to you to advance the purposes God has placed in your spirit. How you handle this moment will determine how far God can take you in the next season. Guard your vision, guard your integrity. The enemy will attempt to introduce distractions, temptations, and misdirection, but God has already placed a hedge around you, a spiritual protection that will shield your calling as long as you remain attentive and obedient. Do not be afraid of the unfamiliar. God often sends blessings disguised in forms we have never encountered before. They may look different, think differently, act unusually, or carry a background that challenges your assumptions. That is intentional. God does not want you to settle into comfort or complacency. God wants you to recognize divine opportunity when it is cloaked in the unexpected. The strangeness of this person is not a warning, it is a signal. It is God's way of preparing your perception so that when the assignment begins, you see clearly that this connection is spiritual, purposeful, and predestined.